So that was amazing to me, actually, because this was a much more implicitly psychoanalytic paper, psychosocial, that was trying to open up a space for saying the sociology of personal life really has to be psychosocial if it's to do its work properly. It's really to talk about the relationship between the personal and the social. It can't avoid thinking of itself as psychosocial. The other piece that I published was a review, as I was invited to write a review of Anne Oakley's book, Father and Daughter. I don't know why I was asked to do that particularly, but I mean, you can't write about fathers and daughters, and you can't write about someone else writing about their autobiography and their relationship between themselves and their father without a kind of implicit psychoanalytic lens. And so it was light touch, but it was kind of suffusing what I was talking about there, a kind of psychosocial, psychoanalytic reading of Anne Oakley's book. So as I said back in that 1995 paper, that for some reason I directed to BJS rather than to sociology, about feminist sociology, the psychosocial is no longer quite as marginal as once it was. Although looking back on it, I do think that I had a bit of a youthful disregard for the power still of the discipline back in 1995, and that maybe not so much has changed in the subsequent 20 years. And that what we're seeing here is the beginnings of an opening up of sociology as a discipline to exploring its relationship with psychology and deconstructing, destabilising the boundaries, those 19th century boundaries between sociology and psychology. So this movement towards occupying just a little bit of space within the mainstream, I've given a kind of quite agentic narrative and a very personal narrative. It's all about me. But of course it isn't all about me. It's about a much bigger movement of other people I've been working with, individual collaborators, but also communities of other scholars working to develop psychosocial studies. But it's absolutely also fundamentally dependent on the gatekeepers, the editors of the journal. And I do remember when you were appointed editors, Peter Redmond said to me, they'll be different. They're different. It's good news. It's really good news. And what he meant was it's good news for the possibility of the psychosocial in sociology. Now, I don't think that's because you've particularly signed up individually, personally to this agenda, but I think he knew that there was an openness and a real will to make sociology a space that did explore things that had previously not been seen as properly part of the discipline. So I think that you as editors have opened up a space that at least has made it possible for me to think of myself as being more part of the discipline. It's challenged me to think again about the ways in which one might choose to occupy the margins when one doesn't need to, and how that is sometimes quite a comfortable place, to a sort of politically safe kind of place. But also it's a place where you don't have to get rejected. If it's impossible to ever get published in sociology, you don't have to put yourself forward for it. Whereas now I think I've challenged myself to think I have to keep trying, even under the new editors, whoever they may be. But I think what's happened over the last few years, and this is a very personal perspective, I suppose, and a perspective from my position as doing this kind of psychosocial research, is that I think that the journal has shifted the boundaries of the discipline in opening up the journal to publishing some different types of things. The capaciousness of the discipline has been stretched, and I think it is always the case that sociology is a capacious discipline. And some of those old fundamental foundational antagonisms that are at the heart of our kind of disciplinary identity. Sociology is not psychology. I mean, that's taught on every sociology course from the very beginning, is being rethought. So I think the work that you've done has been vital to the health of the discipline. And at a time of kind of public retrenchment, closure, policing of borders, hostility to what is perceived as outside and other, hostility to what is unknown, we need to be doing things differently in our own discipline. We need to be able to grapple with the challenges of our age. These challenges are personal and public, and they are psychic and social, and sociology has to be big enough to do those. So, thank you for making a bit of space, I think for me anyway, and for some of those issues.